Lincoln is at the beginning of rebooting its brand, and with that it has the opportunity to position itself to stand out amongst the other so-called premium luxury vehicles. It would appear that Lincoln is trying to position itself to compete against brands like Volvo, Lexus, Acura, and Audi. We think, to quote Don Adams, the original Maxwell Smart, that they're missing it by that much. Premium luxury is the new black. Everybody is doing it. To stand out in that very crowded market, you need to do something that's different. And what Lincoln is bringing to the market really, at this point, isn't different enough. Rather than compete against such a crowded field, we think that Lincoln needs to look further upmarket to take on its former Premier Auto Group members, Jaguar and Land Rover, and the reasons are several. Number one is that there's less to compete against. When there are fewer competitors to draw your eye, you have the opportunity to be the focus. Number two, pricing separation, maybe one of the most important items. As it sits right now, Lincoln will continue to have this issue as it has for a number of years, and that is the appearance that it's just a gussied up Ford. Look at the new Ford Fusion. Especially in titanium trim, it will go for about $34,000 to $36,000 out the door. When you look at the new MKZ, it starts at about $37,000, and by the time you put a couple options in it to be similarly equipped, it'll go out the door for about $42,000 to $43,000. That's not a lot of price separation between the two. The same goes when you look across the rest of the brand, be it the Edge versus the MKX, the Taurus versus the MKS, or even the Flex versus the MKT. While there's now more of a difference between the exterior and the interior of the Lincolns in the past with the Fords, you can still see that they share a very common platform. Number three, in moving further up market, you have more pricing power and hence more profitability, with the added benefit of being able to use much higher quality materials to make that vehicle stand out. You also could bring much more of a unique design philosophy both with the exterior and the interior when you have more pricing power and trying to distinguish it from the lower level brand. Lastly, in reaching for a higher demographic, Lincoln would have the opportunity to truly be an aspirational brand rather than just another quote-unquote premium luxury brand. They could redefine what an American luxury brand is, rather than being just some cliche that people think about from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. American luxury doesn't have to be boulevard smooth. It doesn't have to be the latest in consumer electronics. Rather than custom, Lincoln should be bespoke. Most anyone can have custom. Few people can have bespoke. Lincoln should not get carried away with what we call gimmick interiors, focusing on technology or the latest in consumer electronics. As we're beginning to see, most interiors that have this focus are, number one, 6, 9, 10, sometimes 24 months behind what the current technology is when the cars go into production. They're far behind the curve. Number two, those technologies tend not to age well, both from a look standpoint and from a function standpoint. Classic and timeless should be the focus when it comes to interiors at Lincoln. Simplicity really is its own luxury. If Lincoln is to be successful in its reboot, it will have to be something different than its competitors. Pretty advertising is great for getting people in the door, but the product has to not just match expectations, but far exceed them. In rebooting the brand, Lincoln has the opportunity to place itself where it wants. As they start with a clean sheet, the question is, are they positioning themselves for success or just to get lost in the crowd once again?